the hands of these people. They sell it like it's some wonderful sacrament or a rite or a fun thing. And people get wild-eyed when they talk about abortion. But the point is it has its roots in exterminating people, and it gives them cancer. And you got more than half of the black people never existing, being murdered in their womb. It's maiming and wounding these women. And can we put 2 plus 2 together? You got Bill Gates, whose daddy ran Planned Parenthood, always giving eugenics speeches, but he's got special shots for all the African kids. It's not enough for him that they're killing half or more than half the blacks here. He's got something special for them, and he's got Oprah Winfrey, who it turns out is in secret meetings to go over to Africa with her TV network to say, roll your sleeves up, mama, we got something good for you.
Absolutely, and this is what needs to be. See, they're going to be, I believe, a day of reckoning is coming. But the data now is surfacing in places where they never thought it would get to, and the college campuses hopefully will be the spawning ground for a move of social activism that we've never seen before. But you have named the players. You have also named those, more or less, who are literally being prostituted, African Americans, that have said, okay, we'll play this game for the dollar.
And look at the power she's given. Look at the power Obama's given. I mean, here's Obama massively increasing abortion and pushing abortions worldwide and all of this. I mean, it's so evil. He is the 21st century version of the blacks that Margaret Sanger went out and found so she could put a black face on her murder.
Absolutely. That's exactly where I believe he was elected. And so he got the money. And people today, they're still not questioning how he was able to raise the money he was raising. But that's another program.
4 times the money that McCain got from Wall Street.
Absolutely. So you see here, it's massive. But we shouldn't be intimidated. We should continue to, I believe, truth crushed to earth will rise again. And
because look at the numbers. 36 years ago when they got Roe v. Wade through, 55, 60%, depending on the poll, were pro-abortion. They believed it was just a blob of tissue. They were lied to. But thanks to the 3D imaging and all of it and the truth, now I see polls of over 70% nationally and growing are against abortion.
Absolutely, and that's the good news, folks. That's the excellent news, that the word is shifting opinion, and we need that shift to happen simply because it is going to intimidate the weaker ones, and hopefully not going along with this current agenda of the president, an agenda that basically is just like the words of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I still am shocked over those words.
We passed, she said, in fact, quote her, but to paraphrase, she said, and this was last year, she said, we passed Roe v. Wade to get rid of undesirable people.
And you bottom lined it, that's right. And people should be in just outraged that you mean you didn't do this based on constitutional law? You mean you didn't study the Constitution, then come up with your decision? Your decision, you're telling me, was based on an elitist group of people deciding we're going to reduce some numbers. It was based on ideology, not law. That is scary to no end.
Reverend,
and to sit there calmly saying it in her interview is even more shocking. And, of course, I never would think the New York Times would print it, but, of course, they figured they had an in, they had a scoop, and they did. But we should, where is Al
and Nancy
Sharpton?
Pelosi,
where's Jesse Jackson? Where are they at? They said nothing.
Nancy Pelosi, on one of the Sunday morning shows, said we've got to fund abortion because that'll get rid of people and cut the carbon footprint. I mean, this is what they talk about this so much behind closed doors. They're now doing it right out in the open.
But it's frightening. It's frightening that there's still no outrage over it. And we're going to continue. My hometown newspaper refused to put the quote in the paper, and which we're going to take some legal action, is that they don't want to admit what we have been saying all along. This is targeted genocide. It is a universal movement of these globalists that you well teach your audience about, and it's important for us to become informed, that we then become active in social activism. I believe because there is a God, that we can turn this thing around.
Absolutely. Reverend, stay there. We're going to skip this break. It's a network break. We're skipping it so we have more time with the Reverend. This is such an important subject. But I would just say to black folks listening right now, white people, it doesn't matter. You need to go to your NAACP. You need to go to city council. And you need to every week be there and tell them, stop your genocide, stop your eugenics, stop it. Because if we could get black folks as angry as they get when a cop shoots some black youth who's unarmed, I mean, you got 16 million versus a few hundred blacks getting shot a year. How about instead of getting upset when a cop shoves a plunger in somebody, and that's bad, but it's not 16 million babies chopped up. We know those babies are innocent. How about you get as mad about all these babies as you get as some gang person, dying in a shootout? And that's terrible, but the point is we know these babies are innocent. How about you get angry about that?
It's a good point, and it's one that I often say, and I keep it in perspective. I agree with you on one end, but isn't this not the greater travesty? Look at the innocent, not allowed to be a partaker of the American dream, not allowed their chance for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I said, and you stand and say nothing. This is gross negligence. This is a great injustice we have done to our own, to the children who are looking up to us to protect. We'll be judged by what we do with our most vulnerable. Right now, the judgment would not be good. We need to turn that around.
Well, look at America. We accepted abortion, and then the women get cancer from it. We accept torture and all these wars, and we're being cursed for it. This nation is being cursed by our own actions. We allow evil to grow and grow and grow. And for me, as a white guy, my number one issue is eugenics. But I can't imagine being a black person out there who goes to all these liberal meetings and NAACP and Republican meetings, whatever it is, and that their number one issue isn't your issue because it's the only issue. It goes to the heart of who the controllers are, a bunch of murdering racists. And if they'll set up a system to kill more than half the blacks and a big percentage of all the other groups of humans on this planet, what else are they doing? Well, I've done the research and I know. Every major GMO food they approve sterilizes the rats and gives them cancer in all the studies, mainstream news. The hundreds of chemicals they put in the water under the name fluoride attack the brain, give you cancer, reduce fertility. The vaccines in their own studies do it. The drug insert on the H1N1 said may cause infertility. They know what they're doing. They engineer all of this into what they do. And we have a group of murdering killers in control. And the football, the pageants, all the baloney has to end. The media tells black people, get upset about this issue. And they go along with it. They tell white people, get upset about this issue. We have to stop letting them tell us what to get upset about and get upset about real issues.
Get upset about the real issues, the issues that are going to impact you the most generationally. And unfortunately, we still are afraid to confront our own leadership, especially the African-American community. We will not confront our leadership on how they have betrayed this community, the African-American community, for the sake of filthy lucre. They have benefited from power, lust, from dollars for their own self-aggrandizement, and they have not sought the service of the people. This is the greatest travesty ever in the African-American community. The leadership, the African-American leadership, is pitiful, and but I'm praying for a revolt.
Well, I absolutely agree with you, and we are seen as weeds. We are seen as trash. We're all being experimented on. And they beta tested it in the black community because that was a group that was slaves and controlled. And it's going on all over the world right now. And it's only getting worse. And people, some of them don't want to believe this because it's so horrifying. But look at history. Look what other elites have done. Look at how all the kings of Mesoamerica, Asia, Middle East, Europe, they were always culling their slaves when there got to be too many of them. And Prince Philip Prince Charles' father talks about how he wants to cull us, and all these big professors talk about, and now they're saying they want to genetically test you. They've been taking babies' blood for 37 years without warrants for a secret DNA database at the Cold Springs Harbor Eugenics Facility that IBM runs in Cold Springs Harbor, New York. And now they say, we're going to test your blood, and we're going to tell you whether you can have a child or not if statistically we say you have a genetic problem, including being aggressive. So, see, they're also going to mislabel and take full control of our reproductive system. We have to defeat abortion now. And they'll use that line. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Those are the roots of the beginnings of the eugenics. The cycle is happening again. I got ready to read that story. I didn't have a chance to read it, and thank God you're expressing it to me, because if that is the terminology that they use, and those are the reasons, that is